Hey, Mariner fans, welcome back to another episode of Monday Mojo. My name is Max Schwabe. I'm here with my co-hosts Chris Soba and Chris Weifel, producer Evan Barron. We are coming at you 1.5 games behind the wild card after taking 3 of 4 with the A's. We got a lot to talk about today. Notably, well, what are we talking about actually?
I guess we could start off. We could touch on this briefly, the Colorado Rockies series, just because of how long ago I guess it seems now. With what a weekend that we had against Oakland and hosting them seems like forever ago. But first game in that series broke a 96-day streak. It had been April 15th since Marco Gonzalez had got his last W. And so 96 days, and Marco Gonzalez comes out and finally gets somewhat back on track in that first game against the Rockies, and we end up squeezing the win out there in the first game of that series. And then second game, bullpen start, decided to have Keenan Middleton lead that one off and give it up 5 runs in the first inning was brutal. But the guy that came in after him, I'm blanking on his name, and he's starting tomorrow. McCoggin, yeah. He made his first MLB appearance, and he did really well. He went 5 innings with 0 hits. He did give up a run because there was a walk or 2 walks in 1 inning and then like a sac fly or something like that. So he gave up a run, but no hits in 5 innings pitched. That's pretty damn good for MLB debut. Obviously, we didn't get that W out, but what we also
like what Keenan said. Did you see he posted on Twitter?
Yeah. Respect.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
respect to Keenan.
That one's all on me. Like I love playing for this city. Like, I'm just gonna take that one and get better. Pretty much is what his tweet was all about. But yeah, I mean, McCoggin did amazing, man. I think that there was another stat that there's only been a handful of guys that did what he did, go 5 or more in their debut and only give up or not give up a hit. So that was very welcome sign.
Has anyone else noticed McCoggin as a joke? Or you know what I mean?
What's on your mind?
I'll tell you what's on my mind. His first name is Barry. His last name is McCogginer.
What is his name? We need to figure. Is it McCoggin or
does it not? Did it go right over your head or what?
That one right? Are you saying a joke right now?
He's trying.
I am saying a joke right now.
You're missing, man, big time. What is this?
It's my buddy Barry McCogginer.
Barry McCoggin, though.
There's a joke. There's a Barry McCogginer.
No.
What in the hell are you saying?
There's a joke in there, but we're not getting it.
Okay, or I'll I don't know. Maybe it's not podcast appropriate. I don't think it's that bad at all. But
I need a map because I'm lost.
Okay, fair enough. Moving on, though. Let's talk more about this McCoggin guy.
Yeah, what's his backstory behind it? Do you guys know?
No, one of the pitching coaches said that he's got big balls, and not in terms of like actual like his balls. Like I don't think he's ever. Maybe he's seen his paleto, whatever he's Max just said. But he said the guy's got big kahunas and like he's gutsy. And he's just a kind of like a savage. That's kind of all. I don't know much about him at all. But I know he's starting tomorrow against against Houston for the first game of that series, and so that'll be the real test to see what this guy's made of. I guess it's to his benefit. There's a little to no scouting report on him, so Houston doesn't have much to work with in that regard for preparing to go against him. Hopefully he can pull that one out. But before we dive all into the Astros series, which we got plenty to talk about there, what a freaking weekend, R. Kelly Ignition remix. It's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. And boy, did we have me some fun. 3 out of 4 against Oakland. Who would I mean, we thought it, we hoped it. But losing that first game of the series, I did not expect to win 3 in a row. I hope to God that we split the series. For us to get 3 out of 4 in some fun fashion games, God damn.
Yeah, you're coming in down 3.5 on the wild card. You drop the first game, so it's 4.5, and you're thinking at that point, at least I was, that I'd take a 2-2 split easy. But our bullpen was just lights out. As of July 18th, their WAR as 4.6, which is an MLB best.
Wow.
In the series, they went 15.1 innings, only gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, 17 Ks, and all those wins were by 1 run. And it seemed like it was at the most importance that they came in and did what they did, and they did not disappoint.
Did you say 6 hits from our bullpen in the past, what,
15.1 innings. So in that series.
Wow.
In the wins of that series.
No shit.
And I thought it was pretty hilarious too how they those, not the game we won today on Sunday, but Friday and Saturday, it was basically that A's catcher that gave up all those pass balls, and that's how we won one of those 1-run games where they just got past the ball. And that's the Mariners. I feel like this season they just find a way to win a game. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just get the W on the board. And then it was so cool seeing Kelenic, score and get some momentum on his side, because he's been dealing with a lot of stress and all that. And he was really hyped up. You see give him Cerveza a hug. And so his team just finds ways to keep winning, and let's go.
And so Shannon Dreyer was saying, she's talking about exactly what you're just talking about, Evan, about how we're finding ways to win. But the thing that we're doing is we're putting ourselves in situations to find ways to win. With Mitch Haniger going with a double for his first at bat, but then 2 homers in the same game, 1 a 2-run bomb. And golly, that one homer he had, Laureano missed it by a hair. He hung up on that wall trying to rob it. And then you see the guys, the boys in the pen, they get their hat and they caught the ball instead of Laureano. And oh my goodness, man, he's on a tear. He's on a tear.
Seemed like he was on top of that wall for like 5 seconds, like just waiting. And I'm watching the ball come down. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it.
That's gotta be frustrating. As an outfielder, that has to be very frustrating. And he was visibly frustrated too. He was pissed.
Let me say something real quick, because I meant to put in on that 15.1 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 17 Ks. Everyone besides Montero, because Montero, Montero was as consistent as always, and he gave up 3 runs and like 5 hits, and he got DFA'd. But everyone besides Montero, those are their numbers. And I mean, I don't want to see a guy lose his job, but I'm pretty happy to see him gone.
Yeah, can we talk about that just for a sec? We were all and as a group, as a Monday Mojo group, we have been putting the curse on Montero just to get him off the team for so long.
You hate him, Max.
I know. I was going to say, I led this train towards the beginning of the season. He was always getting into the classic Mariner 9th inning closer situations that we have no business being in. And I was always talking trash on him. And Chris Soba, before his wifey had joined the podcast, he was like, Max, calm down, shut your mouth. Montero's fine. He's going to turn on. Did he ever turn? No, he didn't.
No,
there wasn't. No.
And
honestly, I personally think his ERA should have been much higher, but he is no longer with us, and on to bigger and better opportunities.
And you can't even call it the Fernando Rodney experience.
Anymore,
because
I think that's who I was
Rodney
thinking.
Fernando at least got wins.
Yeah, and he got out of like he would load the bases or have 2 guys get on with no outs, and then he'd get out of it. Montero's just like beacon of consistency, just single, 2 runs, get out of there. Like, if that was the goal, he was really good at it.
It just wasn't. Yeah, no, it just wasn't working out. And
I liked that phrase, beacon of consistency.
Yeah. You would think that has a positive connotation, but unfortunately not for Mr. Montero. But we wish him well.
I do wish him well. I do wish him well. It sucks that he sucked for us. And Scott Service kept saying how like he seemed to be the unluckiest pitcher he's ever encountered. In terms of like the hits he gave up were little flares. It was rare. Like it seemed that it was rare that they were barreling everything up. But they got hits, and the other team found ways to win when Montero was on the mound. I was at the game today, and I saw a guy wearing a Montero jersey, and I'm like, ooh, tough look. Like, you are a ballsy person. Dude, ballsy person for buying the Montero jersey this year. And it obviously is not with us anymore. It's like, that's
no way those are sold. That has to be a custom
100%. Oh, 100% custom made. But it was like, it was Montero jersey. I mean, his number and everything.
What a bad jersey to buy.
Dude, that's like one of the I also went to like a rack in the stadium today. It said 30% off jerseys. I was like, oh, I wonder what they got here. And it was like Malik Smith, Daniel Vogelbach, something Wisdom, like all these old Patrick Wisdom. Yeah,
he's actually good. He's on the Cubs, and I think I wanted to talk about it in like episode 14, but he's actually been really good, and it's just another Mariner that's left and started to produce. But anyways, not the Patrick Wisdom podcast.
No, I thought it was interesting. They're selling these jerseys. I'm like, okay, 30% off. You guys got to mark these down way more than 30% off if you're going to want people to buy these. I mean, these guys aren't on the team anymore. The Vogelbach jersey is the only one that I could see myself ever buying, just because Vogie was the man and, big boy.
Kind of a character, yeah.
Kind of a character in himself.
Vogelbombs.
Yeah, Vogie bombs. He had a good persona on the team.
Don't they still have the Vogie Hoagie?
If they have it, it's definitely not called the Vogie Hoagie anymore. But if they may have it. I mean, they sell hoagies, so I don't think they're doing that marketing promotion anymore.
I'm pretty sure they're not.
But how about Cole Irvin talking some smack? His last outing against us, he at the post game, he said, "I think at the end of the day, pitch execution needs to be a lot better. And a team like that should not be putting up 10 hits against me or anyone. I'm extremely disappointed in my efforts tonight." Wow. That was a quote from Cole Irvin on his first outing back on May 25th against the Seattle Mariners. And after today, Cole Irvin, he's got an 8.78 ERA versus the Mariners this season after today. So Cole Irvin, I'm going to toss you a chair, my brother. Sit the hell down. You don't come out talking smack about the Mariners. You can't back it up. It was your 12th start in the MLB and you're talking shit. You got no room to talk anything. So you sit yourself down, my brother.
Yeah, that's interesting that a guy that just got it, like broke bread in the MLB is thinking about, talking trash on another MLB roster. But in other news, I mean, that's another guy that the A's have just found. They find these starting pitchers out of nowhere. Like, I looked him up. He was on the Reds and was released by the Reds, and they pick him up. And now I think his ERA is in the 3s, which isn't easy to do at the MLB level. But I mean, he's a good pitcher, but he got a little too cocky, and the Mariners slapped him up.
Who was the OG example of that during spring training where we got very boring from?
Oh, so Kevin Mathers said that Marco Gonzalez was
right.
Yeah. So that wasn't an opposing team. That was our own owner or CEO.
Yeah. So So who was it on the Dodgers that was talking trash?
It was Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer on the Mariners?
No, he was in spring training. Remember, he was getting into it with Scott Cervais or whatever when the Mariners let him up for, I think it was 5 runs. And he was just making excuses. Yeah, making excuses. I forget. Chris knows it better, or Soba knows it better, the story wise. But I just know they kind of got at it, and
he was saying he wasn't trying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. He said I stopped trying, and then we hit I think we got a number of runs off him on that spring training game. But then Scott came back saying we started trying in the 5th inning or whatever it was when he stops trying. So that was fun to see Service do a little chirp back that you don't always get to see. Yeah. Dude, I love Scott. He's the man. The job that he's doing, he's getting himself a front row into that, Manager of the Year award. I mean, he is doing a phenomenal job. And for you Mariners Facebook people that are always talking so much trash about Service and how he should be fired and Jerry DePoter should be fired, y'all grab a chair as well and sit down, because they are doing a phenomenal job with the team that we have. The payroll at only $80 million. I mean, we're an inexpensive team with very young guys on the squad, and Service is finding a way to get the most out of every single one of these ball players. And goddamn, hats off to him.
So pertaining to the Mariners Facebook, this is something I never do, but I mean, I'm at my wit's end with these guys. So I just got super cynical, very sarcastic, was just being a troll. And you know how much I love Chris Flex, and we all do on this podcast, but he gave up a leadoff double. And I get on there and I go, Chris Flexen, are you serious? Leadoff double? Just roasting him. And these guys don't even get sarcasm.
I did see that post, because I get notifications when you post in there, or I see in the top notifications that I see, because we follow each other, obviously. Yeah, it is tough to read sarcasm on a screen.
I put at the bottom Seattle Mariners Facebook group. That's how they react to things. Something bad happens, Mitch Haniger strikes out 3 times in a row, and all of a sudden Mitch Haniger sucks. So Chris Flexen gave up a double, and I was just are you kidding me? You give up a double, this guy can't play or whatever. And then I'm like, Mariners Facebook group. Like, this is how you guys sound.
So you're doing it to kind of
I was trolling, which I don't do. I'm not a troll.
No, right, but I mean, it was a different form of. It was a unique form of trolling where it's like, here's a taste of your own medicine.
Yeah, maybe I'm not good at trolling, but I tried.
I like the effort. I love the effort. You got to troll. You got to do it.
But they were just like
that is so wrong. You don't have to troll.
Do you not like trolling?
I actually don't.
There's an episode of South Park where Kyle Broflovsky's dad is trolling, and everyone's like, "Who's this awful troll saying awful things online?" And the viewpoint of any troll is, well, it's kind of funny to watch people flip out over it. And to that extent, they're not wrong, but like, I don't know.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I love to get a rise out of people, man.
I just that group pisses me off so bad that I just like, at some point, okay, my logic isn't working. Like, I'm posting logical stuff every day, and like, people don't get it. So I'm just gonna flip the script and be like, I want to join you guys. I just want to be an idiot for a day, see how it feels.
Right. Speaking of Mariners Facebook groups, I joined the Mariners Facebook fans of the UK. I joined that group and was promoting the podcast there. People were responding, asking questions to me and stuff. So like, to the entire UK Facebook fan base of the Seattle Mariners, shout out to you guys. Love that we have these fans on the other side of the pond, and hope that y'all can, maybe do a Mariners UK Facebook group event and have a number of y'all travel to Seattle. We'll go to a game with you. That would be great to meet some of y'all from there. But yeah, I guess kind of in other news here as well, that happened in this Oakland series is Beefcake, Mr. Dump Truck Cal Raleigh, hitting a 444-foot moonshot into the second deck for his first career home run. That was an absolute doubter off the bat. Best thing about that was Max and I were at that game. And there's this guy in front of us. I forget your name, but he said he was going to be listening to this week's episode as well. And he's asking him, he's looking at the center field scoreboard, looking at Cal Raleigh's average. He's like, "Oh, who's this guy, man? Why is he hitting a buck, whatever?" And I'm like, hold on. He's only been up for like 2.5 weeks. This guy's got some absolute pop. Pretty much right after I said this guy's got some absolute pop, boom, off the bat, second deck dinger. And this guy's like, "Oh, all right. I'll give him some patience. I'll give him some time. He looks like he could."
And then he turned it, and then he turned into your best friend for the rest of the game. That was a good night.
That was a fun night. That was a fun night. And I got a good record this year for when I'm going to Seattle Manor baseball games. I think the only game that I've been to that we've lost was the game. I went to 2 games against the Yankees and we lost that first night. But I think other than that, James Paxton. The James Paxton game.
Yeah, the White Sox game.
Yeah, that one we lost too. I think those are my only two L's, and I've gone to at least 10 games so far this season. If not well above that.
I got a funny story that I'm going to tell you guys. At the game on Friday when we went, all of you guys chug your beer. At the game that we went to on Friday against the A's, the first win of the series. Yeah, first win of the series. Chris and I were in different seats. I was on a date. It went well. Thanks for asking. And Chris was with his twin brother and a couple of our other buddies, Taylor Dukes and Mark. This guy Mark, which is a different story in and of itself. But in order to go find Chris, he had like decent seats out in right field. Yeah. My seats were in the bleachers in left field. They were fun, but we moseyed on over to right field to sit with Chris. And Chris was like, "Hey man, just a heads up. If the usher asks you for your ticket, just use the code word Bach." And I go, "What?" And this is over the phone. I was like, "What the hell does that mean?" And she's like, "Dude, just trust me." So I hang up and we're waiting to get let down by the usher. And apparently ushers are decent at their job. And plus there's not a whole lot of Mariner fans to keep track of, but she was like, "I don't recognize you. Do you guys have your ticket?" And I go, "Yeah." I didn't. And she was like, "Well, can I see it?" And then just something inside me overcame me. And I just was like, "Bach." She goes, "What?" "Bach." "All right, go ahead." Like, "I didn't recognize you. Sorry about that." And I was like, "Wow, Chris, you were not wrong."
I wasn't wrong, man. As we were going down, she goes, "Hey, just so I don't have to check your tickets every time, the code word for this section is Bach." And I'm like, okay, Bach. All right. I won't forget that. And like Max is saying, I was on the phone. I was like, just say Bach, man. Just say Bach. She's going to let you write down. Just say Bach. And
it turned out to be my saving grace, because I would have gotten imprisoned had I not.
They kind of are sticklers about that, if I'm being honest. Like letting you go to those, like whatever section you go to, they're going to be asking for your tickets, which hadn't been.
I mean, there has to be some extent of enforcement on that. Otherwise, everyone's just going to go sit Diamond Club or box seats.
If those seats are open, in my opinion, as an owner of the Seattle Mariners, in my opinion, it's kind of like church. You know, if you're Catholic or Christian, whatever the hell it is, you go to church. Normally, if the front rows aren't full, the priests are like, hey, come up front. Let's get everybody up front and fill the front rows up. Yeah. That should be the viewpoint in the MLB in T-Mobile Park, is if those seats are open, have people come down, get closer to the action so people can hear the cheers and whatnot, and be able to have your support heard a bit more easily. And so I wish that they would be a little bit more lax on that, especially late in the later innings. Be like, all right, these seats are obviously not full or not taken. Let's fill them up. That would be kind of cool. I was talking with my buddy who lives in Kansas City, and he was at a Royals game. Every Friday, the Royals do $1 hot dog night.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's a way to get some asses in seats right there.
Yeah.
Like he got 4 hot dogs for $3.92. That's a damn deal.
We're eating 4 hot dogs at a time.
I guess so. A little Joey Chestnut Jr. over there, huh? if y'all don't know who Joey Chestnut is, he's the American hot dog eating champion. He's the absolute goat at his job.
I'm a hot dog connoisseur myself, so I don't know who Joey Chestnut is, right?
What's your all right. On this topic of hot dogs, what's your favorite hot dog? And I'm not saying, like hot dog with relish or hot dog with mustard. I'm saying situationally, what's your favorite hot dog? Is that a ballpark dog? Ballpark dog's your favorite?
Sorry, continue, Zwifey.
No, it's in the discussion. Ballpark dog.
Okay.
Well, my I mean that's too predictable. Mine is a drunk on Capitol Hill kind of Seattle dog night. When the olden days, the olden days before COVID, or at least when I hung out in Capitol Hill and partied there. There would be street vendors on in the streets while people are like waiting to get in, like, do their cover charge at bars, sitting on the curb on some Capitol Hill street eating a Seattle dog. That's my go-to.
I think the ballpark hot dog, the baseball hot dog, that's my second favorite. My first favorite, if y'all know me, which most of y'all do, listeners, and obviously you three, golfing. And when I make that turn after the ninth hole, when I make the turn after the ninth hole and I'm getting ready for the 10th hole, I get a shot of Fireball and I get a hot dog and I guzzle that boy down, and I'm ready to attack that new 9, baby. I'm ready to get that 45 off the scorecard, maybe hit in the 30s, which I never do, but it's that aesthetic. It's the illusion that it gives me that I'm going to have a good back 9 after a shitty front 9. So
Evan, what were you going to say?
We were so close to having like an amazing segue, because you brought the Royals hot dog night, and we can go right into Whit Merrifield. But then we got into golf game.
I was waiting for a good segue.
Then we got into Soto's golf game, and it's a mystery how good the guy is. He's winning tournaments, but he's not hitting 45s. He's not hitting 30s. He's hitting 45s. I mean,
I threw a number out there. I rarely shoot the 45. I rarely shoot a 45 on a 9. I'm normally shooting.
That'd be a 90, right?
I'm typically shooting between like an 84 and an 88.
Before I pass it off to Evan, who's been patiently waiting for his 2 cents on the matter.
Well,
Speaking of golf,
I'm gonna say my favorite hot dog stand, and then I'm gonna transition to the golf game. So. Yeah. Chris, I don't know. It goes to Waz. Obviously, the ballpark is a great hot dog, but did you ever have a Munchies hot dog at Washington State? Yeah, so that's my go-to. Similar to Max, it's a hot dog stand outside of a bar. Munchies is a hot dog stand stationed right outside the Coug, an iconic bar. And so when you're just blacked out or just super drunk, that's the go-to move. And so shout out Munchies. And then now back to the golf game. So your boy got his first hole-in-one on a par 3, 180 yards out, smoked by 5-iron. It was at Chimera Golf Club in Las Vegas. So any of our listeners that go down to Las Vegas, they want to go to a good golf club, check out Chimera. And I just, it was the best shot of my life. Chris is, we've been golfing when he was down here in Las Vegas for 4 months, and he's seen me. It's come a long way, but it's getting there.
A long way, my guy.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
A year ago, I couldn't smoke my 5-iron 180 yards, and so it was amazing. It bounced about 4 feet in front of the hole, rolled in. The guys I was golfing with, they're like, "I think that was a hole 1," and I was like, "No way! There's no way!" From the tee box, and then we rolled up and I saw it, nothing around the green in the hole, and I picked up my ball, called Chris immediately, and I was like, "Your boy just got a hole in 1." So,
Evan, why don't you do us a favor and edit in a round of applause for yourself? A little round of applause.
Yeah, I'll for sure give myself a little shout out there.
From my perspective, you called me, I was so hyped, and I got off the phone, I'm like, God damn it. I've been golfing for so much longer and I haven't gotten one yet. I'm so jealous. God damn it.
Yeah, I call my grandpa too. He's been golfing for 96 years. He's amazing. He's won these tournaments, and he was like, "I've never got a hole in 1 before." Wow. So I was like, "I got that on you, man." But yeah, I got that.
I didn't know your grandpa hadn't had a hole in 1. I would have guessed he for sure did. That guy golfs
Yeah,
all the
he's
time.
been close, but I guess he's never had it before. So I got that one up on Pup Rice. So
hey, hats off to you, E-Pup. That's freaking awesome. But
thank you.
Segue, Zoif. To Whit Merrifield. Looks like with Adam Frazier from Pittsburgh, he's going to San Diego. That's the guy that we were looking to eye. He's out. He's gone. He's off the trade table. And so news is coming out. We're targeting Whit Merrifield. So what's your 2 cents on this one?
I just want to quickly brush up on the Padres Pirates trade, because it kind of foreshadows what we would have to give up. So the Pirates received prospects Michael Milano, who was the Padres' 46th best prospect, and then Jack Sawinski, who was their 31st best prospect. So we're talking 2 guys outside of the top 30, 1 outside of the top 40, and we have a better farm system than the Padres. The Padres, after trading for Blake Snell and doing a lot of those trades where they kind of use those prospects, the Padres now have like the 18th best farm system. And that with the 18th best farm system, they're able to trade 2 guys outside of their top 30 to get a second baseman that is an all-star caliber. He made the all-star game for the Pirates. Guy that's going to help them tremendously. On one end, I'm pretty frustrated that we didn't give up one of our below 30 prospects. You can't even name a guy. You don't know who the top bottom 30 prospects are. So the fact that we weren't able to get this guy done, we can transition into Whit Merrifield. We got to get this done. And they're similar players. So you can kind of mirror that deal with what we would have to give up to get a guy like Whit Merrifield, who's batting 272, 320 on-base percentage isn't as good as you would think, but over his career, he's been a little bit better than that. 401 slugging, but really what stands out to me is the 25 stolen bases. So he's got a great glove. Yeah. He can play multiple positions, not just second base, but 25 bags. And I was just reviewing this potential lineup. What if you had JP1, you slide Merrifield in 2, that allows Haniger to be a little bit more natural third hitter, because right now batting second, you want him to be drawing runs. France goes to 4, Seager 5, Terrens, who's been awesome, 6, and then when Fraley comes back, he slides into 7, Raleigh Kelnick to finish it off. I want Whit Merrifield. Soba, what do you think?
That's a ball in lineup. I really like the sound of that lineup. Right. Wow. Yeah. And with Cal at the bottom, I mean, he's a big bat. And if you can have big bats at the bottom of your lineup, when you start off that 3rd inning, if you don't get hits in the 1st and 2nd inning, you start off that 3rd inning, you get those guys on base and JP can pick them up, or Whit Merrifield, and then keep moving that line. I mean, that's where that momentum really starts and really can carry over. I like the sound of that lineup a lot.
I want to voice one of our top fans' 2 cents on the matter, Devin Gunter. We all know Devin Gunter from the comments section. He sent me section. Yeah, exactly. He sent me this tweet that Mark Feinsand tweeted out, and the Mariners are making a push to trade for infield outfield Whit Merrifield of the Royals. Merrifield is under control through 2023 at a reasonable cost, approximately $10 million over 2 years, including the 23 option. Offers positional versatility, like we said, and a good bat and great speed. His point was yeah, this is a great potential addition, right? But he is 32 years old. Obviously he says obviously it's a good play for this year, but he hopes we don't overpay and send the Royals some of our top prospects. Do you think that's how you see it playing out?
I would be extremely surprised if Taylor Trammell is not included in that deal.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think Taylor Trammell will end up being a decent ball player.
Yeah.
In all honesty, but I don't think that's going to be with the Seattle Mariners.
He never is.
Wrong. It never was. But we're in a new era of Seattle Mariners baseball, so that is now a was, and we're different now. We're different. But yeah, I mean, he dominates in AAA. He hasn't shown that he can jump on a fastball every now and then and hit that over the fence in the league. But I don't think that there's room for him in the outfield, especially with us really needing to keep Mitch Haniger. That guy is proven over and over these last 2 months that he is our guy. Mitch is our guy, and he is staying. He's got to stay. And so Trammell, in my eyes, would definitely be included in that deal to get Whit Merrifield.
Well, while I tend to agree, I mean, that I want, if you guys saw my text you, I said that I would be actually disappointed if Trammell's still on the team after the trade deadline. It's not because I don't like Trammell. It's because he's a big enough name that could fetch you a bigger fish. So you use him as bait and you throw him out there. But I mean, these trades are weird. So we're looking at that Adam Frazier trade. We're talking about 2 prospects that were in the lower half of the Padres system. Why would we even have to give up Trammell, who's a top 10 prospect for us, if you can still call him a prospect? Why couldn't we give up, it's like, I don't even know the guys' names. Why couldn't we give up 2 guys who are like prospect 25 and 30 and get a guy who's similar to a Adam Frazier and a guy like Whit Merrifield?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, maybe we will. Who knows?
But I still want to use Trammell, and because we're not done, we need a starting pitcher as well. And preferably a right-handed starting pitcher. Yeah. There's guys like Kyle Gibson out there. If you want to go a little bit bigger, you could go with a Herman Marquez or a Luis Castillo from the Reds. But the Reds are kind of starting to win, so they might not be interested in dealing.
Might not be sellers.
They might be sellers. So,
I mean, what are the odds that us as an organization don't make a move whatsoever? What if
I think zero. With the way that Jerry's been on 710 with Danny O'Neill or with some other guys, I forget who it was, but he's saying that he wants to show that he believes in these guys and he wants to reward them for the efforts that they've been putting in this year. And actually in an article just posted that I'm reading, Kyle Seager was asked about getting somebody at the trade deadline, and he goes, you want people to believe in you. You want them to feel like we're doing a good job and that this is a team to go for it, Seager said. I think it's been preached about this rebuild so much, but I mean, we're right there on the edge of this thing. So certainly you would like to have them make moves and get the team as good as we possibly can be. Yeah. And me personally, I mean, good Lord, I'd like to make a run out of it, which I love to hear that last line, because Seager, he's doing a Giannis Antetokounmpo type deal. He's a homer. He's loyal as hell. He's a Seattle guy. He's been with us since the beginning of his career. And I don't want to see what happened with Felix Hernandez, where he was a homer. He stayed with us not his entire career, but almost all of it. And he never saw the playoffs, never saw the glimpse of the playoffs. And so I would love for us to make the playoffs with Seager on this team, just to give him some of that love, because he's deserved it.
Yeah. Talk about guys like Ichiro too, and like all these greats that played for the Mariners and never saw.
Ichiro saw the playoffs in 2001.
Yeah, I guess he did. Oh yeah.
First season.
First season MVP and Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he saw it, but I mean, can you imagine if you would have told him at the end of that 116 win 2001 season, hey, you're never gonna see the I get, he saw it, but he got a glimpse of it. They beat the Indians, and then they get bumped by the Yankees in a frustrating ALCS. But I mean, this trade deadline is it's a golden opportunity, especially with this farm system. And we saw, I don't want to reiterate it a third time, but we saw what the Pirates we're willing to accept for a guy on a expiring contract who is an all-star. They're not like, you're not trading away your really, really, really golden prospects. You're trading away a couple of guys that are a couple years off, and the Royals are not in contention. And Whit Merrifield, he's at his peak of they're not ever, he's been a better player than this before. Like, his numbers aren't career numbers right now, but he's never going to be at a more valuable spot for the Royals than from here on out. This is his peak value. They have to cash in, and I love that we're in play for him. I'm hearing everywhere that the Mariners and the Royals are talking about it. It's just, can we get it done? Because there's obviously other players in, and I think if we lost out on Frazier, I'm fine with it. But if we lose out on both these guys, it will be frustrating for me.
Yeah, it'll be very frustrating. And another thing I think that will be very beneficial for whomever we do get, the clubhouse that we have right now, and as a appreciation of the camaraderie that we have, our clubhouse is in a really, really good spot. And so when we bring somebody in, it's only gonna increase their capabilities, and it's gonna get them confidence if they're lacking any sort of that. But with them coming into the Seattle Mariners clubhouse, they're gonna see that, hey, this team fucking believes, man. This team has got something brewing. They know, the league knows that we've got something brewing now with the wins that we're getting, and how much in contention we still are. Again, a game and a half back. What's the date today? It's July 25th, ladies and gentlemen, and your Seattle Mariners are a game and a half back of a wild card spot. God damn.
And to build off your point when you're talking about a team camaraderie and chemistry within the locker room, that's just another reason why. And I think this sentiment is starting to go away, but that's another reason why you can't trade Mitch Haniger. I mean, he is the heart and soul of this team, and I think I talked to you about if we would have been swept by the A's, and then you go into this Houston series and get your butt kicked again. All right, now I'm looking at, we got to cash in on this golden ticket of Mitch Haniger. Right now, we just took 3 of 4 from the A's. Mitch Haniger was one of the biggest reasons we did that, besides the bullpen, who I wanted to sneak in one more thing about the bullpen. 6th in the big leagues at limiting inherited runners. So guys are on base.
Oh, right.
The bullpen guy comes in and shuts them down. We're 6th best at that. But back to the Haniger point, can't trade him because of what you're talking about with team chemistry. We're building it. It's at a very good spot right now. We want to add to that, not take away from it.
Right.
And even in the bullpen with that, Kendall Graven, like, people are saying he could be a potential trade chip, and I hope to God he's not, because Kendall Graven has been one of those guys that in the opposite side of the clubhouse, the pitching side of the clubhouse, that he has built those relationships. And at the beginning of the year, when he was talking with Jerry DePoto, he's telling Jerry, like, I want to help this team get to the playoffs. And, as I would hope any professional athlete would say, and I would hope that they have those feelings, but just nonetheless, he's saying that stuff, and he's been staying true to that. He's been doing his thing, and he's been consistently phenomenal. Our bullpen's been phenomenal. In the game when Logan Gilbert started against Oakland, Logan went, what was it, 2 1/3 innings or something like that. The rest of that game, the bullpen gave up 1 hit. It was JT Chargois, it was Casey Sadler. Then we had
Seawald
came in, and Gravy, I think, closed it out. And I think maybe Drew Steckenrider pitched in as well. Maybe not.
One more, but yeah,
there may have been one more. But we gave up 1 hit after Logan got taken out. Which, I mean, you see Logan. I'm right now chalking up a W when Logan goes in, and that was Logan's 10th win in a row when Logan pitches. So we were talking about that last week when Logan had won 9. The Mariners had won 9 appearances with Logan Gilbert starting. Now it's 10. And we grinded that one out. We should not have won that game. I didn't think we were going to win that game when he only goes 2 1/3. But for our bullpen to do what it does and what it's been doing, which has been consistently dominant, goddamn, hats off to them.
Yeah.
Well, and it shows you how important the bullpen is, because I'm not saying we're on this level, but the Los Angeles Dodgers, their bullpen has blown, like, I think within the last weeks, their closer Jansen blew like 3 games. And then against the Rockies, their bullpen, I think they've given up like 16 runs in like 5 games. And so you can't have that from a bullpen standpoint. You got to, walk in and, even though there's times where the Mariners will like scratch out a win by 1 run or so, it all comes down to that bullpen. And so for them to have that kind of stat line within this last week really shows that, you need that if we're going to get over that hump and hopefully get into the playoffs. So
I mean, the bullpen's the reason why we've been dominating in 1-run games. It's the reason why we're 10-1 in extra inning games. You don't get there without a really good bullpen being able to carry the load of that, and that's what they've done. I mean, our bullpen is one of the least expensive bullpens in the entire MLB, and look at what they're doing. They're just putting up phenomenal numbers. It's crazy.
You know what's so weird is that my buddy's a big Giants fan. And I honestly don't go out to the bar after work very much. But I went out to the bar 3 nights in a row with him. We didn't get drunk, but we were just drinking a couple beers and whatnot. And he likes talking to the Giants. I like talking to the Mariners. So the Giants went on a comeback home run against Jansen. The next night, Giants are up. They blow the lead. Giants the Dodgers went on a walk-off home run. And then the next night we go out and Jansen, like you just said, gets lit up again. And so it was fun to watch that. And it's just
fireworks.
Weird. I've only watched 6 Giants games this whole year. The 3-game series with the Mariners at the beginning of the year, and then those 3. So that's weird that you brought that up. But yeah, that was fireworks, and he was going nuts.
How about the Giants though? I mean, who would have thought they'd be like, in the NL West when you have the Padres and the Dodgers that are spending all that kind of money and have those kind of top-notch players, and then from the Giants standpoint, I don't really think you have like a superstar that comes off your head that thinks like, oh, this guy's going to carry the team. And they have like the best record in the NL in the MLB.
They have I think 4 starting pitchers that are all on 1-year deals, and they're all just shoving like so good. Like their starting rotation, I think, is one of the best in the MLB. And then they have Brandon Crawford, who's 35 years old, and I mean, you're watching year after year, his numbers are going down, 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 and then now he's having a career year at 35. Buster Posey's killing it. Evan Longoria is killing it. They have 3 guys that just were just trending down and are now just smashing the ball. So the Giants are definitely one of the biggest stories of the year.
Yeah, and same with the Mariners too, man. We're in this as well.
We're not a story yet, but we're gonna be.
We are a story, man. We have already exceeded expectations. We're 8 games over 500 for the first time this year. I mean,
one thing I need to remind ourselves to do is go back to the very first episode for our record predictions, right?
We're on track for 88 wins, bro.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, that
and a lot of people thought we were insane.
Oh man, I got tricked.
I thought I was insane at one point.
I had some buddies being like, "Dude, what are you smoking? Like, there's no way they come close to 88 wins." I'm like, I'm not smoking anything except for the love of the Seattle Mariners. They hurt so good.
I wasn't on the show, but I did predict a 76 and 86 record.
Okay. Well,
damn, that ain't, hopefully that doesn't come to fruition. Yeah. Knock on wood.
There's one other shout out that I wanted to make actually before we sign off to Zach Hobbs, Heartbeat Hobbs. If you're listening to this, and I'll make sure you do, Zach Hobbs. Well, how did it go, Chris? You said you have your first sponsor.
I was on Instagram posting while I was at the game today on this Sunday, Monday Mojo recorded on a Sunday, dropped on a Monday, and I get a DM from Zach Hobbs, and he goes, "Hey man, I got you guys I'm going to be you guys' first sponsor." He said something along those lines. Zach Hobbs is a bat boy or a ball boy for the Seattle Mariners for 6 years or something like that, and the guy's got the hookup for tickets. And so he said, I was supposed to go to the game on Tuesday, and I can't go anymore. The people I was going to go with, they can't go. Do you guys want them? I'm like, oh shit, yeah, how much? He goes, wow. I don't pay a dime for them, they're free. And I'm like, are you shitting me? I'm like, yes, please, and thank you so much. And so Zach Hobbs is Monday Mojo's first sponsor. We're calling it his first sponsor. Zach Hobbs, you are the absolute man. And this is they're perfect seats, because if y'all remember, which I know you do, the last Houston series, I dressed up as Oscar the Grouch, and I had really good seats that game. I had to pay one hell of a pretty penny for those ones. But these seats are front row. They're row number 1 on the third baseline, and I'm going to be dressed up in the heat. in this Oscar the Grouch costume. And my buddy texted me, a different buddy texted me today as well. After the game, they were doing a promo video, Root Sports was, and Oscar the Grouch made an appearance on the promo video. And so he's coming back. He's coming back to T-Mobile Park, and I'm going to be loud booing those Astros fans and booing the Astros players more, I should say. And this is the perfect opportunity and the perfect timing for Zach Hobbs to be reaching out to us. So my guy, really appreciate that. That's
Zach Hobbs and I went to college together. Go Dogs, Zach. Thanks again for the tickets. We'll be doing business with each other shortly, I'm sure.
Chris, that works out perfectly, by the way. Sorry. Because if Bregman's playing, you're on the third baseline and you can just heckle the shit out of him too in that Oscar the Grouch costume. So
better believe it, man.
That is perfect. So,
yeah, dude. I'm really excited, man. It's going to be great seats. And I mean, it's going to be a good day. And I think we're going to have Chris Flexen going that night, if I'm not mistaken. And also on Tuesday, our boy Hector Santiago is back from his 10-day suspension for having sweat and rosin, which they said a sticky substance. It was obviously all bullshit, and the MLB handled it awfully. We were the scapegoats for this scenario, for the sticky gate, whatever you want to call it. But Hector's coming back, and so that is big time for us. We've been minus a player these last 10 games, and so pretty excited for that. But
unfortunately, Bregman is still out.
Is he still out? Damn it. Well,
damn it.
Whatever. It increases our chances to win. So I'll take that. But Altuve will be there. He'll hear me. Hopefully he never gets to third base. But
yeah, I hope that for my sake too. I mean, yeah. I'll heckle the shit out of him, but boy, you take it to another level. But yeah. I am excited to touch dirt, maybe even get a foul ball, even though they got that netting there. I don't know how likely
it's section 144, and I don't think the netting goes down that far.
Let's go.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure we're gonna get some players to come up to us. I mean, I'm front row dressed up as Austin, man. It's gonna be pretty sweet. It's gonna be pretty sweet. But that's what's coming up, ladies and gentlemen. We just took 3 out of 4 from the A's, and we got another massive series coming up against Houston, and then we got a small little break to play against the Texas Rangers. After that, the Heat picks back up. We go to Tampa Bay, who just picked up Nelly, and then we go to New York. And so big time right now for the boys to really keep this momentum going.
Yeah, it's crunch time. Let's see.
Let me say one thing before we go to our pick'em. Since June 13th, the Mariners have the second best record in the MLB at 23-11. Only behind the Houston Astros at 24-11. We played one less game than they have. But
wow.
And then one more thing. Did we coordinate this? We're all dressed very similarly. Blue shirt to blue to beige, and then hats.
I'm just wearing what I wore to the game.
All right. Onto the pick'em.
Oh, wait. No, real quick. I got to say one more thing. Max, you owe me, I don't know if I should call it an apology, but on a few episodes ago, you were questioning my ability for third base in beer league softball. And
wow. Yeah.
And I made a hell of a play.
You made a couple.
I made a couple. But we're in playoffs right now for figurehead softball. Go.
Oh, we're not just in playoffs. We're playing for the championship.
Yeah, we're going to the championship. We're going for back-to-backs. And I guess before actually I dive into the play I made, there was a situation in this game last Friday. And I'm in the on deck circle, taking some hacks, right? And I look over the fence and I'm like, holy shit. That's Macklemore. Macklemore was at our softball game, and he was watching figureheads.
Yeah, dude.
Smack some cute, sweet boys around. That's the name of their softball team.
Get him on the podcast, man.
But I tried. So I was in the on deck circle, and so he was only there for about 2 innings, and I had to go back in the field, and I was trying to get to my wallet to get to that card. I just didn't have the time, and he ended up going. He was with his family, and he ended up going away. I was in the middle of a softball game. I got to play. But it was cool, man.
You got to give that card out.
I go, hey, yo, what up, Macklemore? And I look at the dugout and like some heads raised up, like, wait, what? What did he just say? And then Macklemore goes, hey, what up, dog? And he keeps doing his thing. But I'm like, holy shit, Macklemore is he's watching us play right now. That's pretty cool.
Figs are a household name now.
Another thing about Macklemore, him and I go back, not really, but kind of. Freshman year at the University of Montana. That's where I went freshman year of college. I went to a Macklemore concert, and we had a lot of fun, me and the boys I went with. But in the middle of the concert, Macklemore stops singing, he stops rapping, and he goes, "Hey, who wants to freestyle?" Everybody's hands go up in the air. I'm separated from my friends at this point. And he goes, "You, yellow shirt, red hat." And I'm like, "I'm wearing a yellow shirt. I got a red hat." And he's pointing right at me. He goes, "Come up here." I'm like, "Oh shit." So I go up on stage and I'm rapping with Macklemore at the concert, doing my thing. I was pretty messed up. I had quite a few drinks, having a lot of fun. But it was real cool. So I rapped on stage at a Macklemore concert.
No, I didn't even know this about you.
You didn't know this?
No.
Yeah, man. Like Montana was kind of like a smallish school, and so for the next like 2 weeks, people were coming up. Hey, you were that guy on stage. I felt like a local celebrity. It was really cool. It was cool. Fun. But yeah, I made a really good play at third base, and so I just want to hear Max's recognition, saying that, you know what, you are a brick wall.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was freestyling in my head. I was trying to think of the freestyle.
yeah. In fact, you should be the one apologizing to the entire city of Missoula for freestyling.
I asked if I was good. He said, "Well, you have flow."
yeah,
and confidence too. I bet you had a lot of confidence. That's what also goes into it too. Oh yeah.
That was in peak Seahawks era. That was actually the first year Russell Wilson was on the squad, so I think I was rapping about the Seahawks or something like that.
Nice.
But yeah, Max, I appreciate the apology, and it's very much accepted. But hey, we ain't done yet. We got one more left to take that championship. But back onto the M's. We'll go to the Pick'em starts. Or who won this week? I know I didn't. I had JP.
I blew you guys out of the water. Mitch Haniger, baby. Home runs, bunch of RBI. I didn't even count him up. I stopped counting at like 18, so I'm pretty sure I won.
Can you not count any higher?
No, because I didn't actually go past 4th grade. So
no. Okay. Well, that's.
But I should have learned it by then. But
yeah.
That's what I like to call late bloomer.
Let's also give me some appreciation and recognition for rolling the dice on a brand new player, Cal Raleigh, right? I put some points on the board, and for the first time since we instituted this Pick'em challenge, I was competitive. I was a force to be reckoned with.
No, in the words of Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you're last.
Okay.
And Max, real quick, you're asking for recognition when when we allowed you to get a pick, because you weren't on the last part. And so we were texting for all y'all listening. If you listened last week at the end of the show, we were doing our pick'ems, and we said that Max was out this week because he's not on the show. But then after the text, he's like, "Oh, give me somebody. Like, I'll take somebody," or a Cal Raleigh. Like, all right, whatever, we'll give you Cal.
Nah. And well, so I was working. I was working when the Joe Doyle interview happened.
I know.
So God forbid, but you know. Moving on. Let's talk pick'ems here. Wifey, you go first.
Oh man. I honestly I would take Ty France, but I think it's a little bit boring because I went France, then Haniger, then back to France. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna let France fall to whoever, and then Haniger, I can't pick him again, so that'll fall. You guys are gonna get some good picks here. Against the Astros, I'm going to go Luis Torrens.
Oh, wow.
Love what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite stories of the year. I just think he and Flexen have come out of nowhere to be really big parts of this team, including like a Seawald, like huge guys that came out of nowhere. So I'm going to go with Torrens. But I will put in there that Fraley's coming back. I thought about Fraley, and I probably would have gone France, but I don't want to be boring. So give me Luis Torrens.
One question on that, then a comment on it as well. Fraley, is he officially coming back tomorrow?
He's coming back the 26th. What's today?
Today is the 20th.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. Oh, wow. So we get Fraley back Monday, tomorrow, and then Tuesday, Hector Santiago. So we get some big pieces coming back. So
huge. Does he play all 3 games? Would Fraley come back and immediately play all 3 games?
I don't know.
He probably plays 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't forget about the Texas series as well after Houston. But also a question on Luis Torrens. At the game today, my buddy Eric Kempton, and Max, I know he was texting you about this as well. What are you guys' thoughts? I didn't agree with it. I thought it was crazy that he said this, but he's like, we need Luis Torrens batting leadoff. And I'm like,
that's ludicrous.
I'm like, what, dude? He's like, he gets on base, he hits it to opposite field. Like I can see, like, I guess kind of where he's coming from with how
it's not a bad runner, but I mean, it's not.
You want speed. You want speed in the leadoff, somewhat, at least something, a little bit, I think, right?
Yeah, he's not a bad runner. I mean, it's not as blasphemous as it sounds, but it's definitely not where I would slot him. I think he's like a perfect 5-hitter.
Yeah. I mean, I like him getting up.
He's perfectly plotted for me.
I like him getting up to the plate when for RBI situations, right? And that's what you want out of your 5-hole guy. But Eric, I'm not going to sit you down. I said I might as we were talking in the game today. But
I mean, it wouldn't be as weird as like Seager batting first or France.
Oh, that'd be atrocious.
Because neither one of them can, like, actually Torrens can semi-run, but no, I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think it's ludicrous. Sorry, Eric. I'm going to sit you down in my own book.
Evan, did you come in second?
No, I came in second. I had 9 points, so I think Max might have beat me out on that.
I didn't. Shit, guys, I didn't.
Max, you're getting it. You've been in last.
We'll give you take second, Max.
All right, you guys are so gracious.
Yeah, we're just giving handouts to this guy.
But you can't mess this up, though. We're giving you a great opportunity here.
No, I know. I'm gonna go with.
So many good options.
I'm gonna go with Haniger.
As you should.
As I should. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thanks. I was waiting for approval. Your guys' approval, like, or I thought you guys were going to start laughing at me or something. But no, give me
Haniger. He's crushing it. You idiot.
Yeah. What? what kind of trash talk you think we're going to give you for pitching Mick Haniger?
I don't know. You guys are unpredictable on the trash talk front. But I'm going with Mitch Slammy.
All righty, eat pup.
I'm gonna go Kyle Seager on this one. I think they're playing Texas, right? As well after.
He's a big. So Texas
Chris,
guy.
I know you've mentioned that he's had a good history against Texas in the past, and he was swinging the bat pretty good today against Oakland. Had those 2 RBIs, so lock me in for Seager this week.
That's a great pick. Seager is. I mean, if Texas has a father, their daddy, it's Kyle Seager. Kyle Seager is Texas Rangers daddy. He messes them up every single time he plays them, especially in Texas. He loves to hit in Texas. So good pick on that one. For me, we got I got Ty France on the board.
You got JP.
Yeah, JP is slumping. He just broke today an 0 for 18 streak, which actually we didn't comment on the 4th inning that we had. We started that inning with 2 outs, and then we scored 4 runs, all with 2 outs and no runners on. We ended up scoring 4 runs, and so that's just incredible. Like, the Mariners are so good at situational baseball this year, and that's the reason that we're doing so well on the offensive side. Like, our numbers on a sheet of paper, look at first glance look terrible. They look so bad. But then you look at our numbers, they dive into a little bit more with runners in scoring position. I mean, we got multiple guys hitting over like 310 with runners in scoring position. It's crazy. And so you love to see that. But my pick to hit this week, I gotta go Viva. I gotta go Viva ta France.
Viva.
We're gonna need his back. And I would like to pick Cal Raleigh, but he's not playing every day, which, like, I understand. But that's just obviously for the pick to hit situation that doesn't help us picking. So I'm going to go with Viva ta France, and hopefully he can do his thing. I need to win. I'm not doing well.
Yeah. On the total count, Evan has 4 wins. I have 2 wins. You have 1 win.
And I've got zilch.
Well, I've got a win and a tie.
Well, I have a tie. Yeah. 2 wins.
Yeah. You and I tied.
I don't think those ties matter though.
They don't. Well, they would be a tiebreaker if you and I are like tied at the end of the season. I don't know. But Ty France has a lot of tiebreakers, which I love that he does, because we get to do a little pun with his name. Whenever we take I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that's our pick to hits. Do we have anything else to say that we have on the docket today?
Any other business? None from my end.
Sweet. Well, that's about it, folks. And again, what a week. We split a series with Colorado, and then we lose the first game against Oakland, and we bounce back in a major way. We take the remaining 3 games, and we are sitting right now, again, on July 25th. We are sitting a game and a half back of the second wild card spot, and the Oakland A's have that. And so we got to keep doing what we're doing. Big things are going to be happening this week with the trade deadline 5 days away. Keep your eye out for Whit Merrifield. We need to get him, and maybe we get a pitcher as well. But that's it from Monday Mojo. We do need a pitcher. We do need a pitcher. But that's about it from your boys at Monday Mojo. Go Mariners.
Go Mariners. Have a good week, everyone.